James Lynch here for Flow Combat with Paul Felder, who just had a pretty intense stare down with Mike Perry ahead of his fight at UFC 226. Paul, were you expecting that from Mike Perry?
100%, man. You know, I was sitting back there just wondering what's he going to say, what antics is he going to do. I knew I wasn't going to shake his hand because I've seen him pull his hand away and try to make fun of the guy he's fighting. So it was something I was prepared for, and I just kept telling myself, no matter what he says, you don't say a word. You stay the course, you be who you are, and you stay silent. And, as always, I'll do my talking on Saturday night.
How much of a benefit is it that you are a commentator, and I'm sure a lot of times you are researching the fighters and kind of keeping tabs on what's happening?
And it's all good, man, but I've known this guy. I've seen him fight. It has nothing to do with being a commentator or doing research. I know what kind of guy Mike Perry is, and on Saturday it's going to be a martial arts practitioner versus a thug idiot.
Take me through the moment. How did you find out that James Vick was fighting Justin Gaethje, and what's going through your head at that moment?
Well, I saw on Twitter that I had found out that James was being removed, but I saw Al wasn't going to be fighting first. And then I'm reaching out to Brian, my manager, and I'm like, what's going on? I saw James put his name into the hat. I threw my name out there just because you got to be relevant and you got to stay on top of it. If he ends up getting it, and there was a chance I could have got the main event spot, but when they ultimately pulled him, they called, Brian Butler called me and was like just shaking his head. And then the next day I saw that Yancey got hurt, and I kind of jumped all over it. I thought it was a good opportunity for me to slide right in here on a bigger card.
Did it go through your head at any point, oh my God, this is UFC 223 all over again?
Yeah, it's exactly went through my head at first. I thought, here I am, haven't fought since December. Was supposed to fight in Brooklyn. Probably not going to end up fighting until August at this point, and it was disheartening, man. I had to go to the track the next day with the team and do our first workout, and still dieting to make 55 at that point because I didn't know what was happening. So it was a rough half day.
Yeah, and I know part of it too. I'm sure you would have done Contender Series had you not had this fight coming up. Did that go through your head as well?
Yeah, I would have been a full-time commentator like Mike Perry wants me to be. But no, first and foremost I want to fight. But yes, if I didn't have a fight booked up, obviously I would have been working. It's something that I want to be doing more and more when I'm not in fight camp. So obviously I looked at that like, oh, here's another lost opportunity, a lost money that I could have had. But now that all worked out. It panned out even better. Now we're the fight before the co-main event here on the pay-per-view.
And how nice, Perry's coming in on a losing streak, and so guys have been able to figure him out. Have you sort of looked at that and said, okay, I see some things here on how to defeat him? Yeah,
of course. We always look at certain holes in guys' games, but everybody's always evolving and changing. And I know he switched over to Jackson's, and he's working with Frank Lester and those guys. But guess what? I've worked with all those guys. I've been in that training camp. I've trained at Jackson's. I've trained at Albuquerque and Cowboys Ranch, which I don't think he trains too much at. But I know what he's working on, and when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you need a few camps with a team to really start adapting a new style. So all these new things that he's going to try, they're not second nature for him yet. Yeah. So he'll go back to his roots.
And not having to cut those extra 15 pounds, how much easier is that heading into a fight like this? Because you do cut a lot of weight to get to 55.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a weight cut to make 170, but nowhere near as terrible as it is for me to get to 155. I've had a lot of energy all week. I don't have to do as many workouts, which is actually better because I'm able to rest my body and just focus on drilling what needs to get done and staying sharp as opposed to doing extra runs just to lose weight. So I feel good, but I had to do all that for the camp to make 55. So all the cardio has been put in, and now I get to cut it out at the last week and just let my body rest.
If all goes well in this fight, would you ever consider staying at welterweight, or is your home at 155?
Yeah, I would consider it. I mean, again, we'll see how it goes on Saturday with Mike, but I'm 34 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I'm not getting any smaller as the years go by, and I notice I put on a little more weight and a little more muscle every year. I didn't look like this at 55 when I fought when I was 27, 28. I was much smaller. I was only I would get to 170, 172, and now I get up to 195 in between fights. So a lot like Rafael dos Anjos. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, and he's even smaller than me. I'm about 3 inches taller than Rafael, so it's definitely something I would contemplate. I'm not saying it's my new home yet.
How do you see this fight playing out on Saturday? You're going to get your hand raised, otherwise you wouldn't have taken the fight, but how do you see it unfolding?
I think it's going to be a barn burner to begin with. I think he's going to come at me. He's going to try to knock me out. Or he's trying to get in my head and he's going to shoot. Either way, we're ready for whatever he's going to do. And I'm going to try to wear him out, pick him apart, and then put him away whenever he gives himself the opportunity. But he is a durable, tough guy. Despite all the trash and stupid stuff that he says, he's durable and he's tough. And he is a fighter. I'll give him that. So I do see it being a possible 3-round war. And hopefully some $50,000 checks getting handed out at the end of this, and then I get to go home and hang out with my daughter.
Where do you think a win over him puts him either in the welterweight or lightweight division?
I think a win this weekend just moves me up, and more importantly, just moves me up in the fans' eyes and in the UFC's eyes. You know, I'm always trying to just up my my star power, and that's what's going to give you bigger fights and bigger paydays in the end. So I think stepping in and taking a fight at welterweight on a big card like this is just only going to move my stock up in the UFC. We won't even talk about divisions. It doesn't matter. Yeah. We know that now. It doesn't matter what it does. Big fights is what matters. Having exciting fights, doing awesome things. That's what fans and the UFC care about.
Thanks so much for the time, Paul.
Thank you.